The purpose of today was nicely highlighted. We basically want to give you an overview of where we stand in the developments in the TOOP project, and to show you opportunities to get involved. The idea of the TOOP project is to continue the efforts that were made in past large-scale pilots, such as PEPL or Stork 1, Stork 2, or most latest eSense, in order to further develop the European e-government sphere. And the latest project is focused on implementing the once-only principle. The once-only principle being, so how do I, here, okay. Being rather than copying data to actually link to the original source. And while there have been several member states in the European Union that have already implemented once-only layers or data exchange layers in their countries that enable such linking to the original base information in a base register, we are focusing in our project on the actual cross-border aspects thereof, that we can also link directly to data sources in the other member states, right? So what we want to achieve with that is of course that we get automatic data sharing at one point to replace redundant data and to actually come to better data reliability and actually make it easier to use services in other member states without having to re-enter existing information in public sectors again. So what we want to do with this project is rather started out as an exploratory undertaking where we actually wanted to explore and to demonstrate how the once-only principle can work and actually show its feasibility, to actually show the cross-border data exchange happen, to aim at reducing the administrative burden for the involved businesses and public administrations. And we are actually focusing in our project on the aspect of businesses, as we all know that when we talk about sharing data, immediately, in particular in some member states, the questions around data protection appear, right? So as being, how do you retain control over such data exchange? And as businesses have actually, in general, more public data available about their entities, that's what was decided to start with that in the large-scale piloting. We are preparing grounds for piloting or not, for working on citizen data as well. And there is a sister action, that's the Scope 4C project, which is going to end later this year. And TOOP will work also with their experiences that they gained in particular around use cases for the once-only principle. And maybe also to tell you, I said before that large-scale pilots mean that member states are actually further developing the e-government solutions in Europe. It actually means that they, rather than having a top-down approach that Brussels mandates what should be implemented, it is the member states themselves that commit themselves, that put forward how could such a once-only solution work, and how a federated architecture that is not actually saying like how should the data exchange happen within a country, but rather only limiting on connecting various countries to such a data exchange environment. And you will hear a bit later from Lefteris and from Jerry on how we envisage, in particular, also the conceptual model on that. Hello, Anders. Good to see you. And we have 21 countries involved in the project, although some of the countries are changing because some countries are actually exiting and some new countries such as France are entering the project. We are more or less stable with some 50 partners that are engaged in the project, which are about 50% public administrations, about 1/3 universities, and the rest companies. Oh yeah, I forgot one thing. Maybe we started at the beginning of last year, and the project is scheduled to finish next year in 2019. And with that, and so we are in the midst of the project. With that, I would like to hand over to Lefteris, who will tell you more about our piloting approach and the overall concepts involved in our project. Lefteris, the floor is yours.